beside mic, you can see the camera option there. You can just click on that.
Ah, huh. I see the
Turn on
mic.
mic and beside the turn on camera.
I'm sorry. Let's see. Does this help? What's going on here? No, that's not helping.
Yes.
Did that help?
Joy Garrity, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, thank you so much. Before you start your presentation, I would like to introduce you to the audience. Welcome on stage, Joy Garrity. She is the founder of Joie G113, is a dynamic brand consultant, video podcast, content creator, author, and international speaker. With over 15 years of Hollywood entertainment experience, she has launched major multimedia startups for companies like the Walt Disney Company. Back in the Bay Area, Joy founded Joy G113 to empower entrepreneurs to become their own superstars through her red carpet guide to visibility and influence. She also trains entrepreneurs to become influential video podcast content creators via her YouTube channel and digital magazine, offering them significant visibility and influence. So, thank you so much for sharing your great introduction with us. So, the stage is all yours. Good luck.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. So, I'm going to be speaking about transforming your future, elevating your visibility influence with winning daily habits. It has completely changed both my personal and my professional life in the biggest of ways. And I want to share that with all of you today. I want to also, I'm going to be sharing my PowerPoint here. Here we go. All right. So to get started, I want to talk about how this will be what we'll be covering today and what you'll be walking away with. So you're going to be discovering the daily habits of high-level leaders that I observed while I was working in the Hollywood entertainment business for 15 plus years. I think you'll be very surprised of how superstars and leaders in the arena really get everything that they want. Also, we're going to be covering learning how powerful intentional actions and aligning them with your deepest goals, and then how to take those next level. And then finally, how you're going to start incorporating these transformational practices into your daily habits so you can change, you can take your both your personal and your professional next level. So here's a little bit about me. I worked in Hollywood for 15 plus years, and I worked for major top studios like the Walt Disney Company. I was also handpicked by the ABC studio president to launch the first multimedia startup business for the Walt Disney Company. I also worked in movies and television and branded entertainment, and I was mentored by very high level mentors while down there. And I learned a lot about how to grow your visibility influence. When I returned to the Bay Area, I launched Joie G113, and I have an actual little bit of backstory about the 113. It's in homage to two of the greatest women entrepreneurs, in my opinion, of all time. And one of them is Coco Chanel, and the other one is Marilyn Monroe. And you can learn more about my name and the symbolism behind it and what the 113 with those two women mean on my website at joeg113.com. I empower today, I empower entrepreneurs. It is my life mission and purpose to empower entrepreneurs like yourself out there in branding, innovative marketing, and then also media opportunities, but also leveraging inner game tools to increase visibility and influence. And that's directly linked to your earning power. And my mission is to empower you to elevate your visibility and influence with winning daily habits. So, a little bit about my personal journey. People ask me all the time why I left Hollywood, and I'll share with you authentically. I was hiding in the shadows, I was making everyone else a star. I was working myself into the ground. Literally, my health was being impacted in a big way. I didn't have a personal life whatsoever. Put all my time and energy into my career. There's a lot of pressures down there, and I realized that the studios were loaning me their influence, and I didn't have any of my own. This would be the same thing for anyone that's worked in corporate America, is basically they are handing you their influence and you're not earning your own. And this was keeping me in service to the industry. So I set an intention to jump back into growing my own inner game. And inner game is actually how I got my start in my business. You can also go over to Joie G113. I have a series of blogs about how meditation and a meditation teacher teaching me meditations is how I got my first job down in Hollywood. But today I'm committed to helping others build your inner game to next level, because it literally, in my opinion, it is the biggest game in town. So since I said yes to growing my inner game, my online reach is at 1.1 million right now. My Facebook group has 11,000 members, and I have over 1,000 members waiting to get in. I've become an international speaker. I've launched two books, not just one. I've launched two books. And growing up, you could never have told me that I was going to be an author. I've created a digital hub that includes video podcast, YouTube channel, digital magazines, ebooks, and virtual swag bags. I love swag bags from my Hollywood days, and I feel they're a great way of giving back by giving real resources out to the marketplace. And I'm asked repeatedly to be a featured guest on video podcast shows and a featured guest in magazines and other type of media out there as well. People blog about me as well. So I'm very fortunate, but I'll tell you, it all has to do with my winning daily habits that I incorporated over 4 years ago. And I was at a friend's life celebration. I was asking that same old question of why I was here, what my real purpose was. And it was within seconds downloaded to me memory after memory over those 15 years of working in Hollywood. And they showed me why my real purpose is to bring to let the masses out there know that first of all, it is everyone's birthright to get and have and what they want, and that it all comes down to a strong inner game. I had been observing superstars and I hadn't connected the dots yet. But when I did connect the dots, I was also downloaded a daily habit system that's in my book, Being Your Own Superstar: How to Expand Your Love Capacity, that you can grab. And I'll tell you another thing too, because my inner game um, uh, muscle, and talk more about this, had gotten so strong, I was able to put myself on the cover, something else I never thought I would be able to do. So, but by observing the superstars and leaders in their arena, there was years that I felt that it was that they were lucky, or that they were born with this, what we say in Hollywood, the it factor. And that's not true at all. Actually, they just got back to a strong, what I call a love capacity muscle, sooner than others. But we're all born to as all of our birthright to get and have, and our purpose to stand in our purpose out there in the marketplace. So let's talk more about how I discovered this. So as I was discovering, as this was downloaded to me, it made sense that the superstars, they have they are able to allow, receive, and accept on a massive scale, what I call a love capacity Grand Canyon level. And fame, money, and abundance are simply love in different forms. And your love capacity, your ability to allow, receive, and accept, is the key to you achieving what you desire and your purpose. And luck has nothing to do with it. It is a myth that's perpetuated in society and community out there that keeps us small. So I want everyone out there, let's kick the luck to the side. And instead, I want you to start looking at your purpose, your goals, and your dreams, and in a format of love that is just love coming in different forms. And I'm going to expand on that in 1 second. So it's all about strengthening your muscle through your daily habits. And the best part is anyone can build it. It doesn't take a special talent. By expanding your love capacity, you are opening doors to endless opportunities and you're cultivating abundance and you're inspiring others to rise with you, which I think is key. It's a key element because only together can we rise, soar higher and higher, is one of my quotes out there in the marketplace. So let's talk about what this love capacity muscle really is. So we all have a allow, receive, and accept muscle internally, but most of us, um, I was for years, mine was full of disappointment, anger, shame, blame, all these negative emotions was taking up quite a bit of my capacity. And so what was happening was it was also taking up the capacity and my ability to allow, receive, and accept. And growing up, there was never one time you could have told me that love had anything to do with success or anything to do with my goals or me getting what I wanted. Instead, I was correlating love with more of that kind of, flower power, 70s love concept through history that I had learned. And or on a personal note with boyfriends, for instance. And so when this was downloaded to me at my friend's life celebration, my real reason I worked in Hollywood for 15 plus years, I was like, what? Love has everything to do with it? And they're like, yes, love is an actual energy source and it shows up in everything out there. So rather than chasing money, right? Or chasing the opportunity. They were like, just grow your love capacity muscle and everything will fall in. In order to do that, though, you need to move as much of the negativity that's been taking up the capacity out. You have to clear it out so that you can allow, receive, and accept, right? And once that download came to me and I connected the dots, I was like, wow, of course that makes sense. Now, let's get back to what I had been observing for 15 plus years in Hollywood. I literally worked for mentors that were going to meetings and bringing back $100 million check, right? So we can make our next blockbuster movie. And I remember sitting there thinking, who can allow, receive, and accept $100 million in a check? Like that was crazy to me, right? But they would do it. They were doing it over and over and over again. This is how we were making the next blockbuster, the next blockbuster. And yet I was always in awe of this. And I just couldn't understand it. I would literally was observing superstars, they would like receive for their birthday like a horse. Like that was unusual. Like like a horse for their birthday, or like a new car would be delivered to their house, from agents or from studio heads or whatever it was, right? And I remember thinking to myself, who can accept a horse? Like who does that? Who accepts $100 million? Like how do they do this? And I was always confused by it. But I was along for the ride and I was working, I was doing very well with them. And so, but it wasn't until that download that it connected for me. It's just they had their love capacity muscle is Grand Canyon level. It's so strong that when someone hands them $100 million check, they don't go, oh no, what am I going to have to do for this check? Well, I don't know. Am I really worthy of $100 million? No, their love capacity muscle was so strong, right? They've been building it for so many years that they were actually able to easily allow, receive, and accept that check and say, okay, I'm going to go, that this is part of my purpose, right? Now I'm going to use my talents, my gifts, and I'm going to go and I'm going to direct a movie. And from that movie, all these people are going to get hired, and this is going to help pay their mortgages and send their kids to college. And dot, 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 dot. And so they were seeing this as as a constant flow and as a win-win, as a win-win. And I want you guys to be thinking the same way. What purpose and talent and dream have you had that you keep hitting a glass ceiling? That was another thing too for me. I was doing everything from Reiki to DNA reconstruction, you name it, I was doing it. But yet my vision boards, which by the way, I want to talk about vision boards in a minute. My vision boards, yet certain pieces on the board were coming to fruition because that's how big my love capacity muscle, that's all. But the bigger dreams, my capacity couldn't hold it. Therefore, I was just hitting a glass ceiling, and disappointment would start descending on me, and it was filling the capacity, right? So, what I want to share with you is I love myself a vision board, but you have to make sure that when you're designing your vision boards, right, that you're setting them as a goal in the vision boards or your goal, but then put the vision board to the side. And now you grow the capacity, just concentrate on growing your love capacity muscle, Grand Canyon level. And as your capacity grows bigger and bigger and bigger, the dreams, desires, the goals that are at that capacity will start falling in. And as it gets bigger, they continue to fall in. I know this might seem small, but last year, I was sitting at a concert, a live concert, and it occurred to me that in the 80s, I was watching MTV. I know I'm dating myself. I was watching MTV, and I remember thinking, I want to see this artist in concert, and it never happened. And so I had forgotten about that dream or that desire. I know that sounds small, but I forgot. And I'm sitting in the audience, and all of a sudden it like came over me like just all this light, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's who I wanted to see in the 80s, and I'm sitting here now." My capacity just couldn't hold it back then. My capacity, because I've been growing it with my daily habit system, oh, every day, 7 days a week, that even the small desires and intentions are falling in, and it's really exciting. And so I wanna share from my book, Being Your Own Superstar: How to Expand Your Love Capacity, right? I wanna share a couple of very simple exercises that you can do today, right now, every single day, and it'll make a huge impact on your muscle, on your love capacity muscle. The first one is a breathing exercise. Set your phone for 5 minutes. As soon as you wake up, I want you to breathe in massive amounts of love, and then I want you to breathe out negative emotions, disappointment, shame, anger. You know them, everyone, right? You know what I'm talking about. I want you to do this for 5 minutes, right? Breathe in mass amounts of love and breathe out disappointment, shame, right? Your top 5 negative emotions, because we want to start clearing them out because they're taking up capacity, right? Which is keeping your dreams and desires at it's pushing them down, right? So do this breathing exercise. It's fantastic. Next, I want you to picture yourself standing in a very large stadium and uh, imagine you seeing a cheering crowd, like every single seat is full of someone cheering your name, cheering for you, right? And I want you to share an intention while you're on stage or a goal with the audience and visualize them going crazy and applauding and applauding for you and supporting you and cheering for you. Feel the energy and the excitement in your body as it's happening in real time. This powerful visualization is one of my most powerful in my book, right? That you can be following, right? It only takes 20 minutes a day, my entire daily habits that will strengthen your love capacity muscle. I use it every day. And I tell you, when I need the courage to, when I can feel fear bubbling up, guess what? I can hear the cheering crowd behind me now, right? Because it's in my unconscious, right? And it quiets that down, the fear. And instead, it gives me that energy to lift and to go for what I desire out there. You can find more about my book and you can unlock your own. It only takes 20 minutes a day. And I'm telling you, this has been the number one biggest differences in, I mean, it's changed my entire life. There's no doubt. And I will share a personal story is when I started this 4 years ago, I was on a dating roller coaster, no doubt. I didn't have the capacity to hold like true love yet, but as I did this within the first year of me doing this, not only did I meet the love of my life, but I got engaged, and then 2 years later, I'm married. And this is something that is so significant because I realized that my love capacity muscle wasn't strong enough to hold that kind of love, and so by getting my love capacity muscle, bigger and bigger and bigger, and going for the Grand Canyon level, the most extraordinary things have happened for me, both personally and professionally. Now, does anyone have any questions or any feedback or anything? I think you can put it in the chat over there if you do, and um, there you go. Yes, but if you are interested in really, really, really your desires, and I ask you, are there days when you sit there and say, I've been working on it, I've been visualizing it, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. Why doesn't this goal or dream come into fruition? I'm going to ask you to do this again. Please write down your goals, write down your desires, write down your dreams, then put them aside. Only thing you need to do now is you need to just just work on growing your love capacity muscle. Don't get caught up in the desire, in the dream, in the goal. Okay. That has us go down rabbit holes, right? Instead, get caught up in growing your love capacity muscle bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And as your capacity grows, so will the dreams and desires that match it, and they'll start falling in. It gets bigger, the ones that match it will fall in, and onward and onward and onward. And it is absolutely mind bending. You cannot even imagine for yourself what will happen for you next, because I couldn't. And every day I'm in awe. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You can find me on social media at JoieG113 or Joie Gharrity, and you can go to joieg113.com as well. Well, no questions in the chat. Okay. I hope that this has really helps you. Yes.
Thank you so much for the great presentation and the part where you shared that personal story really resonated, and I love the way you handled the session, which was very thoughtful and well spoken. So, yes, here is a question from our audience. How do you drive sustainable change in remote and cross cultural teams?
How do you drive the most sustainable change?
Yes, in remote and cross-cultural teams.
And rewards?
And cross-cultural teams.
Okay, so the way to drive the sustainable change is to do your daily habits 7 days a week, right? I mean, and do them as soon as you wake up, right? Because it's just like going to the gym, right? If you can, your muscle will still be there and it will still be strong, but it weakens when you don't do the daily habits itself, right? And so the consistency stays, but actually expands, because as your muscle gets stronger, right? Again, there will be things from your past, desires, dreams, and goals that will start showing up that you forgot about, because the capacity is now matching them. See, when I saw that music artist that I wanted to see so badly in 80s, my capacity wasn't there, but I completely forgot about it. And now I'm like in front row and he's right in front of me, and I connected the dots, and I remember that desire of wanting to see him, right? And so therefore it had come true, right? And so there's going to be, that's why I'm asking people, write down your goals and your desires. Of course, do that, right? But then put them to the side, because when you just focus on that and your capacity does not match it, what starts filling your capacity is disappointment, regret, sadness, anger, because you're not getting what you want, right? But if you focus on the love capacity, and something else too that I thought was so interesting recently, I heard that the two lowest vibrations are money and fame, and the highest vibration is love, right? And so it makes sense to me when people are chasing money and fame, right? Versus chasing the inner goal, the inner game muscle, right? Right? You're going to get there faster. You're going to get money and fame and influence and visibility and earning power. And your dreams are going to come way faster when you go through the front door. And chasing these other ways of the goal itself is going in the back door.
Wow, that's really well explained by Joy Gharrity. Thank you so much for answering this question. So, thank you so much for your great presentation, sharing with the Virtual Summit 2025. And this is the last day for this speaker participation. So, please do encourage other speaker sessions as well, and please do join this session and post your questions. Lots of love, and bye bye.
Did we get a? Ay, ay, ay.